Okay, I just want to warn you ahead of time. If you have not watched the series History 3 Making Our Days Count, which is a Taiwanese boys' love show, I suggest you not watch the rest of this video. I have a Viki pass, so I was able to watch this show all the way through, and today was the last episode of the show, and I have to talk about it because I'm fucking pissed off right now. I'm so mad. Hello. So I wasn't even going to get on Al Gore's internet today. I really had plans to keep to myself because today is a bullshit day. Yesterday was a bullshit day. You know what I'm talking about? Shawals were here. So I was not planning to be on Al Gore's internet talking to y'all today. But the one thing that has given me joy consistently, week after week after week, has been watching the show History 3 Making Our Days Count. And me. Well, that's a given. And so, in this boys' love rabbit hole I have fallen into, there have been twists and turns. Dark Blue Kiss has been disappointing me. Tharn Type is going into a weird place. Thank goodness the last episode is next week. But Making Our Days Count has been the gem. So for those of you who watch Boys Love, let me give you a little rundown of the show so you can understand why it was the gem. It started out in a high school with two boys who had an antagonistic relationship. But over the course of time, one falls in love with the other, they reach a mutual understanding, a mutual affection, and all of a sudden, happiness is here and everyone is living their best lives. And I'm here for it. And the families were starting to get over their biases, and they had gotten an apartment together, and everything was really, really gorgeous and wonderful. Then all of a sudden, things start getting into slow motion at the end of the penultimate episode. And I'm like, fuck's going on here? Why is it that everything's in slow motion for the last 20 seconds of the show? What the fuck is happening? Girl, tell me why. They killed off one of the main characters and did a time skip, and that's how we're ending the fucking show. I'm so mad. Like, I've watched every series of History. Every series. I've watched History 1, History 2, History 3. I told y'all spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, it is what it is. I've watched History 1, 2, and 3. I've watched all of them. And they've all had good endings for the most part. Like, there was one where the character started out dead, so like, what can you do there? And then there was one where a character had to go to jail at the end, but he was also like in the mob, so it made sense. You have to pay for your crimes. But outside of that, most of them ended really well. How are you going to do this? This just reinforces the stereotype or the trope that gay media has to end sad. And I'm fucking tired of it. This show was gorgeous. This show was, first of all, the show had such a great friendship group between the boys that hung out together. There was a relationship between an older man and a younger man that played out really well, and it wasn't exploitive, and just, it had some really fire intimate moments. I
actually have a fact about the whole, like, having a sad ending.
What about it?
There was actually, I think, a law that was passed in America where if you were going to show gay people in media, you had to portray it as something to be shamed upon or something.
I think that was a part of the Hays Code back in like the 30s and 40s. But we're talking about today in
but it's still
Al Gore's
a
internet.
Cultural thing.
I don't care what the fuck it is. I spent hours on this fucking show. Do you hear me? Hours on this show. I couldn't even watch it in speed. And I'm just so hurt. I'm so hurt. I had to watch this baby cry like multiple times because he can't find anybody else that fills this void in his life. He's been climbing mountains to get closer to the stars to reach the spirit of his dead lover. What is this tragic bullshit? Come on! Like, okay, so I don't know what. If you decide you want to watch History 3 Making Our Days Count, stop on episode 9. Or if you're watching it the way it's airing in China, stop at episode 18. Like, don't watch anymore. Don't stop it there. Don't watch another second. Like, the only good thing that happens is the other main couple, the older guy, the younger guy, like, they have a happy ending because neither one of them die. But outside of that, don't watch this fucking show. Don't watch this fucking show. I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt. Because it did all the right things. It didn't have a bitchy female trying to ruin things for the male lead characters. It did have one of those, I'm not gay, I just like you type of deals. But, I mean, it wasn't extreme. It wasn't gross. And it was going so well. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it was going so well. Oh, gosh. It was going so well. And then they just fucking ruined it. Okay. So, Tension and the Park. Please tell me, Tension and the Spark, you tell me, how long had you been watching this show just to have them fucking burn your feelings to the ground? Because I started watching the show probably 3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago, because I had to watch the last 2 or 3 episodes in real time. Okay, so since the beginning, every week it got better. I have never watched a show that did that before. Like, I'll be honest with you. Love by Chance, I watched it marathon because I watched it after it ended. The earlier episodes of the show, plot-wise, were much better than the later episodes of the show to me. Even though I do adore the couple, Tin Can, I have to acknowledge that the plot line with the blackmail and everything else was way better in the beginning of the show than towards the end of the show. My personal feelings. And same thing with Tharn Type. The first few episodes of Tharn Type were really good. The last few episodes so far have kind of been, they've been upsetting to me. This was one of the few shows that the more episodes I watched, the better it got. And even though episode 6 has by far the most explicit sexual scene in the series, that doesn't matter because all of the sweet, tender moments in episodes after episode 6 totally make you not wish to have, like, you know, lots of skin and everything else because you're invested in the relationships at this point. You're invested in the commitment. You're invested in the time. You're invested in these people. And I have never had a series wait until the very last episode to burn the house down. This is the first time I've experienced that. Like, I've had series that have turned in the middle and been like, you know, okay, we're going down. Cheese in the Trap. I watched that entire show, Cheese in the Trap. I didn't watch the movie. And it was one of those ones that, like, as we got towards the end, I was like, okay, this is going to end in a shit show. I can tell it from here.
Hold on.
And the last episode was god-awful, but you could see it coming from a mile away. This one, it is like, oh my gosh, it is like when they read the lottery numbers, and as they're reading them, and you're like, I got that number. I got that number. Okay, I got that number. All right, I got that number. Shit, I'm one number away from the lottery. And then they fucking dash it and say, actually, you know, we're going to have to re-pull all the numbers because...
Breaking news, we're going to have to interrupt the broadcast for a second.
Broadcast
for a second. Trump's been impeached.
What is that? Oh, well. Oh, well. I'm just saying.
I mean, I doubt he'll get removed from office.
Bill Clinton was impeached.
Yeah.
So
I doubt he'll get removed from office, but you know, small win.
Tis what it is.
For the folks. At least they're
Listen, I'm talking about important shit here. Let me get back to the things that Americans care about.
The future of America is in effect.
I mean, it's not gonna stop nothing. Ain't nobody. Okay, for real talk here. No one has said that him being impeached is gonna stop him from currently being president. It's not gonna stop him from running for re-election. It's not gonna stop nothing. So let's talk about what's important here. Betrayals. And the betrayal is this fucking show. It's fucking show. So let's go back to Tension in the Park. And what she said, I'm right there with you. This ending felt so rushed and thrown together. Girl, do you know how fucking rushed this fucking ending was? They introduced a bitch named Phoebe that we never saw. All we know is the bitch likes earth colors and likes to wear green and beige because the sister was picking out green and beige shirts. We don't know nothing about her. All we know is that she's a little bit older than him. They started going together her last year of school, so they've probably been together for about a year. She's supposed to be meeting his parents, but he seems like he's in no fucking ways interested, excited about her, nothing. Then they bring along this fucking lookalike for no fucking reason. Oh my gosh, that was the other terrible thing that they did. I almost forgot they did this. Okay, so the character that gets hit by a car and killed shows up with a dubbed voice, and all of a sudden he's like this fuckboy teenager type that likes to climb mountains, and it's just like, okay, how do you have one character who is the one that we all love, who like tells corny dad jokes, and then you have the second character like, dude, I'm gonna pay for your dinner because you're giving me your climbing equipment. That's what's up. What?
That's men for you.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Why did y'all do this? Why did y'all do this? What? And no point at all. The lookalike is just there to throw the fucking viewers off so that you don't know what happened. Like, I honestly, when I was watching the episode and the lookalike came along, I remember thinking, okay, maybe the main character got hit by a car and got thrown into a coma for like 2 years. And when he woke up from the coma, he had amnesia. And because of the part of the brain that was injured in the coma, it caused him to develop a different kind of personality. And because of the different personality, that is the reason why he's acting like he's fucking Jay Park Jr. But no, he's just there to throw you off so you don't make the connection that the fucking main character has been killed by a fucking car accident. It is insane. It is insane that they did this. It is fucking insane. Why would you do that? That is some shit I expect to see on fucking Young and the Restless. That is some shit I expect to see on fucking Young and the Restless, where they're like, Neil died and his twin brother Carrington has rolled into town.
Oh, you know what I love?
What?
When the person's love interest dies on Young and the Restless, and they end up dating their twin brother too.
See? That's some shit that we expect in these terrible American soap operas. Not a show that was so good. Oh my God. Okay. And then like the dad is all like, son, you just need to find you a girl to, make love to and have a family with, because girls are hard to find, the good girls at least. It's like, are you a parent? I mean, if you're a parent, can you not tell that your son is like, he needs therapy? He doesn't need a woman. He needs therapy. There's something wrong with your son. The fact that your wife can walk into a room and he's crying over a cracker box.
Fine. Your wife can be your therapy.
Ugh. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. And then like, they didn't have any real development with any of the other friendship group that we loved. We loved the whole friendship group. Madam, what are you trying to break over there?
I'm not trying to break anything.
Anyway, we loved the friendship group. We loved the twins. We loved their photographer friend. Only time that we get to see anything about them is them sitting around the table. And the thing that really makes me upset about that too was the fact that like, all of them were very close, which means that they're all very close with Shingu. And so for them to seem like that they're oblivious to the fact that their friend is still hurting very openly, is very wounded. And because I'm trying to feel out what the time jump is, Shingu had to have been dead for 2 years before Hating went into university, because he took the entrance exam 2 times, and you can only take it once every year. So he just graduated from university. So I'm going to assume that's 4 years. So we're 6 years into the future. And he is still crying at the drop of a dime. And no one thinks he needs fucking therapy. No one thinks that maybe instead of needing to find a fucking wife, he needs to find a therapist. No. I'm so angry. There's only one time I remember ever being this fucking angry. And you guys are going to call me so fucking corny when I...
Trap?
No. Cheese in the Trap, I was angry, but it didn't kill me on the last episode. The last episode that killed me, let's see. And I hate to bring this up because I hate to shine any light on this person at all. But when I played this song, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. This is the level of betrayal I feel.
She ate the persimmons.
This is how I feel. This is literally my soul crying. I feel Rooftop Prince levels of betrayal right now. I'm so fucking hurt. I'm so fucking hurt.
So what are you gonna say at my funeral now that you killed me?
So the song, for those of you wondering, is a song called Hurt, and the artist name is Ali. It's A-L-I, and it's from the OST for Rooftop Prince. And every time I hear that fucking song, that is like the song that I equate with the feeling of devastation. I feel fucking devastated right now. I've invested so much time. I have loved this show so much. I've loved this series so much. And for them to fucking bring it down like that, like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I feel massive betrayals here. Massive betrayals. So I just want to get on here and rant about this. I don't want to talk about no other sad shit. I know that there are those of you who want to ask me about how I feel about today and yesterday being the 2nd anniversary. I'm just going to tell you this. I was very fortunate in that I made a real life Shawwal friend, and we spent yesterday at a coffee shop speaking for several hours about our feelings, and I left it feeling rejuvenated, feeling heard, and feeling happy. So that is the reason why I don't really feel like talking about it much more, because I did what I needed to do to take care of my mental health. But yeah, apparently, you're right, tension in the spark. So History 2, Crossing the Line, is one of the chapters in the history series. And this one is the one with a kid who is a volleyball player who got injured, and he is now coaching the volleyball team because he can't really play. And he recruits, or another kid gets recruited to the team who's like kind of a bad kid, but he gets enthralled by the idea of being a good volleyball player. And his enthrallment has to do with him falling in love with the coach. And by the end of their series, they have kind of agreed that they're going to start seeing each other. So if they're doing a sequel, that's exciting. But it's probably going to be some bullshit where the new guy breaks his fucking leg in half, and then a leg transplant takes place, which allows the coach to finally go back into doing volleyball, but his boyfriend's going to have to be willed to every event missing half of a leg. Like, it's going to be on some betrayal shit, because look what they've done to us today. Look what you did to us. Look what you did to us. It's bad enough we have to wait for our boyfriend to leave prison for another couple of years, but now look where we are. Look what you've done to us. He's dead. He's dead. I cannot believe you killed him off. I can't believe you did that. This is... So, since we're here, I would love for you guys to share with me, what is the worst ending to anything that you've ever watched before? Whether it's the ending to Game of Thrones, the ending to Dexter, if it's the ending to a movie, what is the worst ending that you've ever had? And I don't consider worse like the whole series was bad and it ended bad. Like, what is something that started out so brilliant and so good and then it ended in a fucking dumpster fire?
Scum.
Stephanie says scum.
It was getting so good. It was getting so good. But then...
Okay.
Because there was so much room for improvement that was never touched upon. What happened to Vilda's mother? Why is she in her bed all day? Why does Vilda have to take care of her? What's gonna happen now that Sana and Yosef are dating? Why is Nora getting back with this stupid jerk William, even though nobody likes William? What's gonna happen to Isak and Evan now that Isak has moved out of the collective? What's gonna happen? Nothing. No follow-up. We just get these half-finished arcs and then a bunch of remakes.
Goblin. Okay. The ending to Goblin was kind of shitty. The ending for Goblin was kind of shitty. But there was a slightly happy ending because for those spoilers, they do end up like reincarnated in together. I mean, he's still like a billion years older than her, but there is some kind of like, I don't know, time jump, time skip, whatever. It ended up having a happy ending. Okay, so Dark Angel Below says, I'm with Stephanie, Scum was horrible, left it up the air.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's horrible. Season 3 and the first part of Season 4 had me in tears.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all just ruined it. Also, I didn't like the subplot where Yusuf and Noura were hanging out together, making out in front of Sana, just because they want to make her jealous so that they know her feelings for Yusuf. Y'all shouldn't have done that. Just let Yusuf be a man and just ask Sana out. Don't make this whole thing where it's like, oh no, I can't be with Yusuf because Yusuf's into Noura and whatever. No! Just be a man and ask Sana out like a regular person instead of kissing her best friend in front of her to make her jealous.
So Dark Angel says, the ending was horrible. I wanted more Vilda and Scum.
Exactly. Because she had the most potential in the show. You know, we saw everybody else's story pretty much, with the exception of Chris, the girl Chris. But Vilda, while she was annoying first season, she started to get this depth, and we started to really care about her. And then we see her mother is bedridden, and we don't get any follow-up to that. We just see Vilda getting ready for a party while her mother's literally at home, and we don't exactly know what's wrong with her. How do they live? How do they live? You could have explored this, but you didn't.
So I just want to make a point here. When your parents tell you, I hope that your child is just like you, this is what they mean. They mean that same energy you've been putting out in the universe, that's who you're going to end up with in your house. Now, I don't know if that means that I'm a good person or a bad person.
Both.
But apparently, I gave birth to my twin. Because I feel that energy. I know where it comes from. But yeah, man. Fucking... I like literally finished the episode maybe 10 minutes before I got on screen. Because I was like, I have to talk to somebody. Because it just ended so bad. He still lives in the apartment that they shared before the car accident. Which means that every day for the last 6 years, he's been walking past the intersection where his boyfriend was killed. That is extremely cruel and unfair. He's going to the United States to go to Stanford to study physics because I guess he's trying to live out his boyfriend's dream because his boyfriend's dream was to be a physicist. Like, there's just so much. He's living in this world of grief. And it troubles me so bad because all the people around him know that he's embroiled in this grief. And no one seems to offer him anything other than, you'll be all right. feelings will fade. You'll be okay. It's not going to always hurt like this. The man is still crying 6 years later. Still tearing up. He looks fucking dead. His emotions are so just washed away. And you're like, you'll be all right? Fuck that. That's a lie. That's a fable.
Aesop.
Yeah. So, tension in this...
Oh.
Yeah.
It's The Sims. I'm sorry.
So, Tension in the Spark says, Banana Fish also had such a bad ending. I pretend the last few minutes no longer exist. So, I haven't seen Banana Fish, but I will be sure to put that on my list of turn it off 10 minutes before it ends. Because that shit is bogus. That shit is bogus. It's so fucking sloppy and lazy and just... And it's not even like this was a show that had like a whole bunch of plot. This really was a show that was about like living in the cuddles, living in the feels. So why would you ruin a show that was the feel-good show of the season? Why would you do that? I don't understand. So since we're here and I've pretty much ended my rant about making our days count, I'm going to give you two more rants. A rant about Tharn-type and a rant about Dark Blue Kiss.
Ooh,
and then we'll call it a day.
The dad is flirty.
So if you're watching Dark Blue Kiss, we are, 1 or 2 episodes away from the ending. And I hate Pete and I hate Nan, and I wish that Cal would grow a fucking backbone. So in Dark Blue Kiss, we have engineering students, 2 that are in college, 1 that is in high school. The high schooler, his dad is the dean of the university where the 2 college engineering students go to school. And one of the students, who is a poor student, his mother works at the college also. And so the dean asked the mother if her son can tutor the high schooler because he's not making great grades. Well, the rich engineering student, who happens to be the poor student's boyfriend, is upset because he feels disrespected by the young man. So they're like catfighting. And Cal, who is the student whose mom works at the school, he's like, hey, I have to tutor this kid because her boss is the one who asked me to do this, which is the kid's father, and he's the one who is in charge of making sure my mother has a job. So I need to do this. Pete, who's the rich engineering student, is like, fuck all that noise. You're my man. I don't like him. You can't tutor him. And so Cal does the only thing that a sensible bitch can do. I'm gonna lie to you and keep on minding my business because this ain't your business. So he keeps tutoring Nan. Well, there's this big popularity contest. This is a About a Boy contest. Pete wins the contest. And Nan, because he's a trifling little asshole bitch, decides that I'm going to get the last victory in this whole thing. So he basically spills the beans that Cal has been tutoring him the whole time. And so Pete, because he is a wimp and a simp and prideful and jealous and insecure, decided to dump Cal for lying to him. He's like, you got these niggas laughing behind my back. You got me looking like a fool. I look like a fool out in these streets. My homeboys know what you've been doing and you haven't been telling me. And so they break up. And of course, Cal is around here crying like, but baby, I swear, I didn't mean. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. Please forgive me. That's all fine and good. This kid, Nan, is an asshole. Cal should know that Nan is an asshole because he deliberately went in front of your boyfriend, gave you this customized cup that your boyfriend gave you. He's like, hey, you left us the last time we were hanging out. That's intentional bullshit. Like, if for no other thing, you owe him an ass whooping for busting up the spot. But then he shows up to your house with seafood and you're like, yeah, come on in, it'll be fine, we'll hang out. Why are you letting him in your house when you still owe him an ass whooping? Then you let him in your house. You let him use your phone. Why? I don't know. If somebody says, can I use your charger? I don't hand them my phone and say, pull my phone off the charger. I take my phone off the charger. I give them the little cord. And I'm like, okay, plug yourself in. I don't give them my phone. So that's dumb. So this kid erases text messages from Pete. Tells Pete, I'm fucking your man, and me and your man and his mom are fixing to have dinner together. First of all, Pete knows that Cal will never come out to his mother because he's scared. So what makes you think that all of a sudden he's dating this kid who you know hates you and is probably liable to lie to you in order to get under your skin? Why do you believe him when he says, I'm eating dinner with my boyfriend and his mama? You know Cal's not out to his mom. You know what the truth is already, but you would rather listen to this guy who you hate, and you said you hate him. You'd rather listen to him than listen to your man. Then listen to your man who did not cheat on you. He made money for his family. And first of all, if I was Cal, I'd have told Pete flat out, fuck you. My sister is studying in America. She needs money for school. My mother is a single mother trying to help pay for my sister's education. I need to help pay the bills around this house. My mother's employer asked me to tutor his son, and he's the one who's responsible for whether or not my mother gets a promotion at work. Of course I'm going to take this fucking job.
Ooh. How about it?
So if you can't handle it because your dick's so fucking small and you're so insecure about your little bitty weenie, then maybe you need to find a new bitch, because I got bills to pay. I got things to do. How about you go be with somebody who ain't got shit else to do but cater to you and your fucking needs?
So let me cater to you, because baby, this is your day.
I hope you know everyone on the internet can hear you singing in the background. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, they're all, split up and everything is so weird. So Non, the little punk high school kid, gets drunk at the club. His friend calls Cal talking about, Non's drunk, and if you don't pick him up, his dad's gonna have to come pick him up, and then he's gonna get in a whole bunch of trouble. Is there no Uber in Thailand? Is there no taxi app? Is there the friend who is calling you to tell you that he's drunk? You can't take his ass home? So here goes Cal with his simp lack of a backbone ass, goes to the club to pick up Non to take him home, takes him all the way up to his fucking bedroom, which I would have never done. I would have dumped you off inside of your front door and left my ass alone. Takes him to his bedroom. All of a sudden, Non's like, give me kisses. Give me hugs. Give me kisses. And Kelly, no, stop it. Leave me alone. I don't want that. Then the dad walks in the bedroom. So you mean to tell me this whole time when you were dragging this kid up the stairs, the dad didn't hear nothing, but all of a sudden when you're saying, stop, leave me alone, here comes the dad talking about, I heard a noise. So the dad sees you in the bed tussling because you're trying to get away from his son. And you, instead of explaining, hey, I just brought your son home because he was super drunk, and because, as you can see, he's fucking drunk as a skunk. He's being handsy right now. Nothing is going on. We both are fully dressed. Instead, what Cal says is, it's not what you think. Ask your son. And then leaves. We already know Nana's a bitch. He lied to your boyfriend about what kind of relationship y'all have. What makes you think, if he's so fucking scared of his dad that he's afraid to come home drunk, that he's going to tell his dad, oh yeah, I was hitting on him because I'm drunk. No big deal. No, he probably fucking told his dad, he got me drunk. And after he got me drunk, he tried to take advantage of me, Dad. Oh my God, you had to come into the room in time. Who knows how big my asshole would be right now? And scene. I'm telling you, Cal has got to be one of the most gullible motherfuckers walking on the face of the earth. How do you leave yourself open like that? So, of course, the preview for next week's episode shows that social media is ablaze with rumors that a student tutor is molesting his student. What? So all of a sudden, the job that he got at the tutoring school, they're like, we can't employ you with these kind of rumors floating about around you. Then his internship that he was supposed to get because he is the best kid in his class, like, yeah, the school told us you have a really bad reputation. What the fuck did you expect? What the fuck did you expect? At this point, you might as well tell your mommy, yeah, I'm gay. Yeah, I'm gay, and I like to fuck around, but I'm not fucking around with that kid. Like, Dark Blue Kiss, get your shit together. Also, fuck you, son. Fuck you, Sun, S-U-N. So Sun and Mork is the other couple of the show. And Mork is this kind of like rough and tumble kid, you know. He's he doesn't come from money, he doesn't have much, but what he does have is pride, and he doesn't like to see people getting picked on. Well, he got in a fight with this gang because they were harassing a girl, and the gang got beat up by him, and they took it poorly, and they want revenge. So they show up at this coffee shop and proceed to whoop the dog snot out of Mork, so much that Mork is hospitalized. Sun, in his infinite wisdom, shows up at the hospital at the foot of Mork's bed where he is like completely tubed up and everything. It was like, I can't believe that you would start a fight in my cafe. Do you know how much money I spent decorating my cafe? My cafe was my dream. And and you're fighting, and all of your troubles comes into my beautiful cafe and tears it up. You promised me that you were not going to fight anymore, but what do? You have a fucking fight in my cafe? That's what you do. And it's just like, sir, number one, this is not the time nor the place. This is a fucking hospital room and somebody's laying up in the hospital bed all tubed up. So maybe this isn't the time to get in a fight with nobody. But secondly, you see what state he's in. What fucking fight do you think he got into? He didn't get in a fight. He got jumped. He got whooped. It was a group of like 4 or 5 dudes who ran up in your cafe, held your brother down, held him down, and kicked the shit out of him. And you have the nerve to tell me that he's the one who's not keeping promises? You're the one who's not paying attention, sir. And you don't deserve Mork. Because Mork is beautiful, and I'd fuck the shit out of him if it was ever an option. Also, the guy who plays Sun is also quite good looking. On his Instagram, he doesn't wear many shirts, and he is built for the gods. So that's my rant about Dark Blue Kiss. Also, Eugenia, when I get off here, just watch this again because I did a good 15 minutes of ranting about History 3. So you're not alone. I am here with you. And then the rant about Tharn type. The rant about Tharn type is that I think that Type and Tharn both independently need therapy. Like, I have been watching this whole season, and I thought that Type was an asshole from day one. Like, he just came across as a jerk. But I was willing to give him the pass because as he and Tharn got closer together, I started to see nice things about him. And I was like, okay, you do have a little bit of sweetness. You can be a little bit cute. You can be a little bit romantic. All right. But then his jealous streak starts to come out. And the shit he does when he is jealous is completely unforgivable. So his boyfriend is waiting for an elevator with a guy that he used to date, who is also a close family friend. This close family friend grabs Tharn, who is the boyfriend, and kisses him. Do you know what Type's reaction was? He runs up in the building and punches Tharn in the face. Who does that? First of all, you could tell from looking that Tharn was not an active participant in the kiss. He literally was standing there when he got grabbed up and smooched. So why are you punching him? Then, to say, don't ever make me jealous, as if he had any role in this whatsoever, they go to a club, and Type is flirting with girls, and then they go into the back alley, and he's like, you know, whenever you're jealous, that makes you real horned up. He's like, yeah, and then kicks him in the fucking gut, or knees him in the gut, is like, but tonight, I'm not gonna be horned up, I'm teaching you a lesson. Why do you keep hitting this man? You continue, and you slapped him before. He had slapped him when he called him, he was like, you're my wife. And then he slapped him. I'm nobody's wife. Like, Type, I understand that as a rape victim and as a kidnapping victim, you are in a very fragile place mentally. Not only that, but you were kidnapped by a man when you were a child. You were sexually assaulted by a man as a child. And you've never dated a man before. So trying to somehow reconcile your newly arrived gay emotional feelings with the fact that you have had a bias against gay people this whole time because of your earlier trauma. And also, you've never been in a relationship with a man, so you're not sure what the dynamic should be. All of this speaks to the fact that you need therapy. Like, you need therapy, you need help, you need to see somebody, you might need some meds for your anxiety. Like, you need help. You don't need to be with anybody. You need help. And Tharn, you need help too. Because for you to be on your knees begging someone to stay with you who has punched you, who has kicked you, who has slapped you, who has fucked around on you and told you you are nothing more than a piece of ass on multiple occasions, for you at the end of the last episode to be on your knees telling him, I'll do anything to keep you around. You got to look at yourself and say, what do I value myself as? How much self-worth do I actually have? Now, Tharn has a reason for feeling the way he does, because Tharn has been a victim for a really long time. So, spoiler alert again. Spoiler. Tharn's first relationship happened when he was 14 years old, and it was by a man who was a friend of his older brother, so an older guy. And we have reason to believe that San might have been 18 when this happened. So basically an adult having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old. And so Tharn has this relationship with this guy who has a power structure. He doesn't really like bottoming, but that happens. Then later on, Tharn gets in a series of relationships with other men, and these relationships end very poorly, and nobody really understands kind of what happens, but he either gets cheated on or they just break up with him for no reason. Well, Tharn has a friend named Long, and basically Long has been in love with Tharn since forever, and what Long does is basically ruin all of Tharn's relationships because he's so in love with Tharn. But instead of manning up and being like, I like you, do you like me? He just wants to continue to ruin all of Tharn's relationships so that Tharn won't be close to anyone but him. So because of this, and Tharn having experienced relationships that either ended in betrayal or relationships that ended for no reason at all, just like wake up one day and somebody says, I don't ever want to see you again, like that kind of shit, Tharn has become extremely, extremely clingy. Like, he's become kind of like, I'll do anything you want, just please don't leave me. And you could see it early on in the episode when he's like, listen, I'm sorry that I haven't had time for you. I apologize. I don't mean to not pay attention to you. Like, there's just little clues here that, like, he'll accept any behavior. Just don't break up with him. And he says in one episode early on, he's like, the word I hate the most is breakup. I don't like it. Well, there's things that Type and Tharn don't know about each other. Like, Type didn't know that Tharn won't eat spicy food or that Tharn doesn't like raw food. He finds that out later. Long has set up this elaborate scheme to make it seem like Tharn is cheating on Type with an ex-boyfriend. And the way he did is that he blackmailed the ex-boyfriend to help with this elaborate setup. This is an ex-boyfriend that he's able to blackmail because he had 3 men gang rape the ex-boyfriend, filmed the rape, and then said, I will give you the clips if you help me break up Tharn's current relationship. So Type is ready to leave Tharn. And Type being ready to leave Tharn, Tharn gets on his knees and is like, I will eat spicy food. I will eat raw food. I will learn to cook for you. I will clean for you. I will do anything you want me to do. Please don't leave. And I remember watching that and thinking, the fact that you've lowered yourself like this just goes to show you're not ready. You're not ready for a relationship, because in a relationship, there's a certain part of yourself that you have to maintain. And if you can't maintain your sense of self, you will lose yourself in a relationship. And that's an unhealthy place for any individual to be. You know, there's a lot that you'll do for the person you love, but you have to remember that you still count. And at that point in the game, Tharn was like, I don't count anymore. And I see you in the comments talking about how Tharn is very manipulative and that the relationship started really bad. From what I understand, there's a lot of internal monologue that we miss in the first episodes regarding Type and the way he feels about certain actions that Tharn takes. But there were some moments in the series that, because we don't have that internal dialogue, it started mad shady. So one time, Type got really drunk and fell asleep on Tharn's bed. Don't know why, it just happened. Tharn then proceeds to suck hickeys all over Type's chest and be like, well, you were in my bed. You wanted this. And there's no evidence based on what we saw on the screen that this was a mutual encounter. So that comes across really molesty. There are some other times where Type is asleep or Type is sick, where he's just basically out of his head, kind of, that Tharn gets very handsy with Type, if you know what I mean. And it is off-putting because you're like, he didn't ask you to touch him. He's not asking you to do these things. He doesn't have any awareness that you're doing these things. And this comes across as really gross, my guy. But according to the people who read the book, there's other things going on where, like, this is actually behavior that Type enjoys or he is a participant in, but it doesn't come across on screen at all. And, like, the final nail in the coffin for a lot of people in terms of whether or not they were going to continue to watch the series is that there is a scene where Type is in the shower and Tharn comes in the shower and proceeds to start kissing Type aggressively. And it could be that maybe the actor who plays Type is not good at this particular style of acting, but he comes across as like, I don't want you kissing me. I don't want this sexual interaction that we're about to engage in. And then Tharn proceeds to give him oral sex. And it just really does look like he did not want it at all. That he's like, physically he's having a response because you're rubbing on body parts, but that he didn't want it. And it comes across very much so as if he's being taken advantage of. And because we know he is a rape victim, it just comes across super duper oogie. Like, really, really bad. So, Tharn is no saint. And I don't mean that as a pun, Rosario. I'm just saying, Tharn is no saint. So, I'm not saying that he's a perfect...
What's the pun?
You have to watch these shows for you to know the pun. Tharn is no saint. But he's not a terrible person. At least, in my opinion, he's not a terrible person. I think he's just a hurt person. And I think Type is a hurt person. And when two hurt people get together, I just really feel like they need to heal themselves before they can engage in trying to be with somebody else.
If you don't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else?
Well, because a lot of these bad behaviors, a lot of these kind of like iffy situations that they're in, a lot of these things that really can be seen as like not being clean in terms of like both participants being into it, a lot of that comes from people not understanding how to communicate in a healthy way, people not understanding how to process their feelings in a healthy way and how to express their feelings in a healthy way. So if I don't know how to talk to you because I don't know how to get out what I'm feeling, I'm probably going to hurt you. Because either I'm not going to talk to you or I'm going to say something that is not at all what I intend, but I don't have the tools to show you what I mean or to get across what I mean. And so my major gripe with Tharn Type, and we're never going to see it, is that they both need therapy. They need therapy and they're not going to get it together. Now, we have one more episode left of Tharn Type. I have not read the book. I mean, I get people that spoil me, like there's always spoilers out there, but I have not read the book. But what I'm assuming is that Type didn't really break up with Tharn. Instead, Type made it seem like he was breaking up with Tharn so that he could expose Long for the manipulator that he is. I don't know about all that. All I know is this. There's a lot of hurt people in this episode. There are multiple rape victims in this episode when you take into account Tar. And there's not a satisfying conclusion to either one of those stories. Type may very well be very happy with Tharn. He may be willing to turn over a new leaf with Tharn. They might end up being very well suited for each other in the future. But Type has got a hurt that he never properly addressed. And until that is addressed, I don't know how long him and Tharn can be happy. Tharn may be glad to know that his relationships didn't end because he's a shitty person, but because there was a shitty person manipulating the game the whole time. But he still got trust issues. He still got self-confidence issues. And those don't just go away because you found out the reason why you can't have a successful relationship. Tar, for everything that's going on with him, he needs to not be around his brother. I'm going to say that right now. Tar's brother, Tum, I can tell he has the best of intentions, but based on the small snippet of interaction that we saw towards the end of Love by Chance, Tum is no better either. Like, he is trying to rush somebody into having feelings for him that they're not prepared to have for anyone. So, yeah, it is a lot of hurt people being hurt and remaining hurt. And I just don't see what a real happy ending can be for any of these people, because there's just so much under the surface that makes it to where their foundation is too rocky for long lasting happiness. So this is the way I feel about the series. I'm still watching though. I'm still watching because, you know, the ice cubes. The ice cubes. I'm still watching though. And the only series that I don't have any rant about, because everything they've been doing so far has been magnifique, is Until We Meet Again. Until We Meet Again is that bitch. If you want to get in on the boys love train, but you want to like watch along with everybody else instead of like going through series that have already passed, you have got to watch Until We Meet Again. It is on YouTube. They have an official channel that is showing it on YouTube. It's Studio Wabi Sabi. Until We Meet Again is great. A lot of healthy stuff going on there. Trigger warning though, the very first episode of the show shows a double suicide. I'm saying that to you because for people who this could be a trigger, not only does it show it at the very beginning of the show, there are multiple callbacks and flashbacks to this suicide. And it is something that is shown in graphic detail, like sound of guns, blood, everything. So I'm telling you now, because I don't want you to put yourself in a bad place, especially considering what today is. I absolutely don't want to put you in a bad place by setting you up for failure with this thing. So if those things don't trigger you, if those things are okay for you, then go ahead and watch Until We Meet Again, because it is a fantastic show. Like, it is hitting all the marks. Everything is good. The main couple is cute as can be. Team Win, which is the secondary couple, I cannot wait for them to get their own series, because they're going to, because they have their own book, and also because just about everybody I know agrees is that one of them looks a bit like Jimin from BTS, which is a total mindfuck when you're watching. But yes, I definitely recommend Until We Meet Again. The female characters are not annoying, which is always helpful. The guys seem to have fairly direct, healthy relationships with each other. I don't know much about the previous couple that committed suicide, but the current couple, they seem to be doing really well. There's not a lot of game playing or manipulation or anything going on. And also, Tin and Can are in the series from Love by Chance, and Tin is playing a bad guy, which was kind of funny. Like, he played a bad guy in Love by Chance, so it's not like it's the first time he's playing a bad guy, but like, he's playing, like, I don't know, kind of a fuckboyish character. It's funny. It's funny. But anyway, I recommend it. It is the only thing I can recommend, because if History 3 had ended better, it would be my recommendation. Like, honest to goodness, if History 3 had had a happy ending, it would be my main recommendation for 2019 Boys Love series, because up until that moment, we were sailing along. It was so good. It was so smooth. The chemistry between these actors is something on a level you've never seen before. Like, real talk. It is like, are y'all fucking in real life? Because I believe you. And a lot of people were talking about how, like, Tharn-type really took it up a notch when it came to, like, showing physical affection. But I'm telling you now, Tharn-type has nothing on History the beginning of episode 6. So I think we all are just going to agree, like, if you're going to watch History 3, just stop watching at the end of episode 9. Just leave it alone after episode 9. Don't watch another fucking minute of that show, because there's no reason to keep watching. I'm telling you, there's no reason to keep watching, because all they want to do is hurt you. All they want to do is hurt you. But for those of you with sensitive eyes, I'm just going to show you a little screen cap of a scene from the show. Yeah, this is what we're living for, guys.
Why are you showing that?
That's what we're living for, guys. So History 3, making our days count.
That is pornography.
It's not pornography. They don't show nothing. But I'm just saying.
That is naked people in video.
Listen, Maxtel is cute, but I have problems with them in Together With Me. Both of the Together With Me's. There's a lot of unhealthy shit going on with those two as well. Cornock, yes. And I like Sodus. I really, really like Sodus. But I'm telling you now, the chemistry between the actors in History 3 is on a level you have never seen. I'm saying it. It's on Viki now. No. The intimate scene I just showed, no. You haven't. Episode 6, History 3, Making Our Days Count. Yes. Yeah, Cornock, they're cute. They're very cute, and both of them have beautiful bodies. Like they're a fantasy. They're a fantasy. But these couples in History 3, they just make you want to take a warm bath. Like you feel like you just want to be swaddled in it. It is so nice. So that's where I'm at right now. Thank you guys for indulging in more of my Boys Love chat. I realize that for some of you, that's not the content you came for, and I'm so sorry, but I needed to talk about it because it hurt my spirit so bad. It's been a long time since I've been this let down, y'all. Like, it's been a really long time since I've been this let down. In fact, this actually marks like bad luck for me because I've been walking into shows and really doing very well and like my expectations being up here, and then fucking history. So thank you so much for watching. I'm glad this was cathartic for some of you. Watch Mood Indigo. If it's got a sad ending, I don't want it. I got halfway through Love of Siam and I said, fuck this shit. I can see the sad ending is coming. Don't give it to me. So, I'm not watching no sad shit. Don't recommend me no sad shit. I don't want it. Especially because like I'm in a chat with Mason and he's like, I'm really tired of every love story being told about my life ending in death or separation or other bad shit happening. And I agree. When I read fanfic, if it says sad ending or angst, I go right on to the next one.
Major character death?
No, fuck that. I'm not doing it. Because I'm tired. Life is so fucking hard. I fucking pay taxes. I gotta buy Christmas presents. I gotta pay a car note. I got rent to pay. I got all this shit I have to do. I have enough sad shit that happens to me on a regular basis. I don't need my fiction to be sad. I need happiness. So that's what I'm asking for. Don't recommend me no sad shit. Leave comments and let me know what you want me to watch, but don't recommend me no sad shit because I'm not here for that today.
Fluff and angst with happy ending only.
Yes, and preferably enemies to friends to lovers. We like a little tension, if you know what I mean. All right, talk to y'all later. Love you guys so much. You did very well today.